to Chester. He'll be buzzing after the victory yesterday for Scotland over India. Welcome, Paul. The batsman, the crease with Wasim Jaffer is Rahul Kohli. He is the cousin of Virat Kohli. He struggled to get going in this tournament so far, but you'll be looking to take some inspiration batting alongside Wasim Jaffer. So how did the Scottish boys celebrate their win last night, do you know?
Well, I'm on the WhatsApp group. I wasn't here myself, but there was lots of photos, lots of posts, and something about a pub somewhere around the corner from the ground.
And I bet you they enjoyed the experience of playing against Wasim Jaffer.
Yeah, the guys have really enjoyed the week so far. You can tell they're buzzing from it. I think from their point of view, the big thing that's been a real bonus is the players have been really accessible, really happy to pass on advice to them, and they've really been welcoming that.
So for those of you who have just joined the footage, we've just seen a really good game between LMS Australia and Australia, captained by Marty Henderson, against USA. That included Chanderpaul in the side. They won with 3 wickets in hand as Kohli pushes his way down to third man. Deepak comes in to do the fielding. Got Paul Reddish in the commentary box with me. We just had a bit of a technical issue with his microphone. It's sorted out now. Paul, I'll welcome you for the second time into the live feed today.
Thanks, Wayne. I think that button that you've got there that switched it off, my wife's been looking for one of those for a while. You better not tell her about this.
Peter Bowman, watching from Canberra. Thank you for valuable information just supplied there. LMS backroom staff in Canberra. I'd like to welcome our Indian viewers. We've teamed up with SportsWiki, India media partners for this event, and this game has been broadcast to all parts of India. I'm sure as this game goes on, you're going to see the number of viewers in the left-hand corner climbing. The new bowler's Naidu.
You have a favourite for this game, Wayne?
Well, both teams have struggled to get going. They're both improved. I think this is going to be a really close game. 2 evenly matched sides. Amir's the bowler.
The first part, Amir.
So Jaffer 5 from 2, Kohli 4 from 6.
It's a good tight start here from Amir. Conditions a bit different today. We might see seam bowling coming into it a little bit more. It's been spin all the way so far in this tournament, but it's a bit overcast. It might do a little bit more early on.
Yeah, it is definitely, the temperature's well down even from this morning. The sun was out.
Yeah, you can see much more movement through the air today. Make for an interesting day's cricket, just to see if a few more people come to the fore.
Yeah, the wickets, it's actually drying out. Yesterday was a really hot day. We're not on the same track as yesterday, but the groundsman obviously wouldn't have been able to get much moisture on the wicket. But you see here, can't continue. Pushed out to the offside by Kohli. And declines the option to turn for the second. But the advantage of running the first one hard shown there.
That's one of the things about last man stands with 8 fielders. You've got to be aware of what's going on all the time. When you've got 11 players on the pitch, people can drift in and out, but overthrows are always in the game here. You've got to be switched on.
Yeah, that's spot on, and the concentration levels have to be high. There's only 100 balls in last man stands, so you've got to be switched on for all 100, because we've seen a lot of close games, and often the difference in the end result can be 1 or 2 runs or 1 or 2 wickets. As Jaffa pushes this one down to third man, he's running the first one hard. He's turned for the second, and this is good awareness by Wasim Jaffa. He's already seen the arm of the third man, and he's realised he could take him on. Early on he didn't attempt that. Could he be bluffing down there at third man? Does he have a stronger arm? Could this be some gamesmanship from the UAE guys? I've seen them out on nights out. They're up to mischief on their nights out, so there could be something going on there.
It's really struggling to get the ball away these first 2 or 3 overs.
So Paul, you've obviously just arrived, but the previous game, it was tough going for the batting teams. The ball's just holding up at times. It's actually a little bit easier with the new ball, but as the spinners start coming into it, the batsmen have to work the ball into gaps. Marty Henderson was superb in that innings. Calm head, and he showed all the batsmen how it's done. Didn't try and overhit the ball, kept his shape, and just made sure he played it very late. That's the key on these wickets, playing it late.
Well, I think that's one of the things I've noticed from watching online up in Scotland the first couple of days. You watch some of the pros that are playing, and just, the shape is the key thing, and I think that's the difference when you're watching players who have played at a really high level, and those of us that maybe are a bit below that. They're able to keep their shape, and the ball 9 times out of 10 goes exactly where they want it to go.
So yes, I'm joined by Paul Reddish in the commentary box. Jamie Carter is just asking for confirmation that that's Paul Reddish. We're going to bring Nick Compton into the commentary box for a while. Paul, thank you for joining us. Please will you come back in a few overs. We definitely want to talk us through that win of LMS Scotland over LMS India early on today.
Sure thing. Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you.
Hello, Wayne.
Hi Nick, how you going, bud?
Bit chilly today, isn't it?
It was very warm this morning. The sun was baking, and it was actually directly into our eyes in the commentary tent, but it's now dropped about 15 degrees.
Might bring us back into the game, hey? Some of especially Scotland, are licking their lips over there. One over the Asian countries who've got 20 layers on, feeling the biting cold. Yeah, a bit of wind, but the conditions aren't too bad. Bit cooler than the other day, but still cracking couple of games so far.
Yeah, this is Amir. Amir's tidy start from him.
Oh, lovely shot from Wasim Jaffa. I mean, he really is beautiful to watch, isn't he? Got so much class and time, and even at, I don't know how old he is now. Is he 41, 42?
Yeah, I think he's just turned 40, 41.
Just scored a triple century back in India, and there's no sign of him aging at all. His eye's still working pretty well, scoring runs everywhere he plays, and he's still got that lovely elegance.
Yeah, and you were actually interviewing him yesterday, Nick, and you alluded to the fact that he's been scoring runs in the Ranji Trophy. Who does he play for in the Indian setup back home?
I think he plays... Actually, you know what? I've forgotten the name of the team he plays for. I'll have to ask him again. But, yeah, he still scores runs in first-class cricket. And
he's also over here. He plays every now and then for the Lashins. And he's also fresh off 176 in one of the games for them. Direct hit would have been gone.
One stump to aim at, and took his chance there. I think it was the right option to run.
So Nick, you guys have got a game against New Zealand later.
Yeah, a big clash for us. I think if we can get our edge over that one, I think it'll take us a long way to building that confidence for the final. But New Zealand definitely one of the better teams, although they lost quite heavily to Pakistan. I think they've got a good outfit.
Yeah, they're much better than that result showed. Down to Hashim. Well done, Hashim.
Good fielding in the deep there. Ball being crashed him at mid-on, and bit of a misfield there. You really have to keep things tidy here because batsmen will pounce on any opportunity to run a two.
So yeah, New Zealand, they'll have James Franklin. You've obviously, you know James quite well, don't you, Nick?
Yeah, I played a lot of cricket with him at Middlesex. Very genuine all-rounder, bowls bats, be good in this sort of competition, and honestly played his first game yesterday. Got a bit of tap from Razak, but who hasn't?
It's a great shot. Pushing the first one hard. A little bit of a fumble. Back for two.
You got to run hard in this competition. I mean, you can hit your 4s and 6s, and if you've got those sort of power players, that's great. But if you haven't, it's so important you get bat on ball. And I think every time you hit it to the outfield, if you push hard, there's two. There's two every time, even if the guy's got it in his hand. And it's amazing to watch how many guys don't take the second run. Especially
when the wickets start breaking up a bit because the boundaries start drying up, and then you...
It's a lovely shot. What a glorious shot from Wasim Jaffer there. I mean, that is class. Don't bowl on his legs. I mean, you generally know not to bowl on Indian players' legs because they're so good with their wrists, but he's just whipped that.
It was a gentle push.
Beautiful watch.
It's great balance. Have you played against Wasim Jaffer before?
I played with him for a few Lashings games and come to get to know him a little bit here and there. Just a really genuine guy. Clearly loves the game of cricket. Got so much experience, and I mean, he still looks fit. He's a pretty fit sort of guy. There's no reason why he couldn't play for another 2 or 3 years. Yeah, and it's a great experience for some of the Indian youngsters. You see Dwij coming on with the water bottle. Dwij played in the LMS Indian National Champs. First ever time we've had an LMS Champs in India, and their team got to the final, and it was a tied final. Then we had an eliminator over, and the eliminator over was tied, and eventually his team lost on boundaries, but he caught the selector's eye, and he's over here representing India, and now he's playing alongside a former Test international. Yeah, great opportunity for everyone here. I mean, just to pick people's brains and walk around the boundary, mix with the other teams, very sociable. I went out for dinner with the USA team last night, which was really nice. Some really great guys there, work in the city in New York, and, nice chance to come and get their competitive juices going and play against some of their heroes. And this is the skipper coming to bowl, Deepak Niklas, against the Indian captain, Kohli. Jaffer turning for the second. Bit of fielding there. Keeper tidies it up, hey? And the England boys looking after you? Oh, they've been a bit messy, a bit naughty at times, just liking their beers. But no, it's been great. The top bunch of lads. And is there anyone in the side that's particularly impressed you, in the England side? Yeah, I think we've got a quick bowler who's definitely been the fastest bowler I've seen on show. Forgotten his full name. Adil Hussain, that's it, and really nice guy to go with it. Clearly played a lot of cricket, bit undervalued over the years. I might have to look at that bowling action again. A little bit suspect. Yeah, I think he's got the one where he throws out the offie. Yeah, just throws it out the front of his hand. I think. Deepak, come on, bud. I know Deepak quite well. I've been on. Throws it rather than bowls it. No, he'll correct it this one. Just as the umpire logo, this one will be perfect. Now watch. See, that was fun. Yeah, I think spinners coming more into the game now as the competition goes on. Wickets obviously a little bit used, a little bit tired. Bring in some of these Asian players. We have a look at a replay of that. Very Syed Ajmal-like. Oh, that's a great shot. What a beautiful shot from Wasim Jaffer. Straight down the ground for 4. Beautiful shot. Just tossed up a little bit and into the class man's arc. Yeah, that's a really good shot, and he was really good yesterday. 50 not out. He came back in.
against LMS Scotland. Tight game, and they needed 12 to win off the last ball, or 12 to tie actually. He was in the non-strikers end, but if you hit it 6 off the last ball of the innings in LMS cricket, it's worth 12. And unfortunately, they just held out at mid-off. But it was a really good game, and LMS Scotland overcame LMS India. England are one of 3 unbeaten teams in this tournament. A lot of people didn't really give England much hope coming into this tournament. I think a lot of the people had their eyes on maybe South Africa, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, but you guys are getting stronger as this tournament goes on.
Yeah, I don't want to speak too soon. We've had a good start. Won a couple of games, and there's still some good teams to play. I mean, Pakistan for me are the form team, are the guys to beat. If we can get Abdul Razak out, I think we've got a chance. But my word, is he?
Oh my word!
He played well, and that is
huge.
Cracking shot.
Oof! That house has been peppered a few times, but not that high up on the roof. That's the biggest we've had today.
Just when you thought he was all class and no brawn, he's just muscled that 10 rows back. And that is a cracking shot. I mean, that is straight out the middle of that big Indian cricket bat. And Wasim Jaffer starting to open his arms a little bit now.
Oh, there we go. And there's the class again. It's a great shot. Mixing it up nicely here, Jaffer. Where would you be telling your England team to be bowling if you were bowling to Jaffer?
Look, I genuinely believe if you've got to attack the stumps in this competition, get players like Wasim hitting in the air, trying to get them to do something different. I think if you give them any room or pitch it short, you've got more options. So I think you've got to really go for the stumps and try and get them hitting down the ground. If they hit a good cover drive or a good shot for 4 down the ground, well, that's so be it. But I think that's where you can sort of set a field and then almost say to the batsman, well, come on then, if you want to do something, you've got to improvise.
Oh, jeez. That's massive. I hope my car's okay over there. That's exactly where I try to park to avoid the cars on, avoid the 6s on pitch 2. That is huge.
Jeez, that was a good shot. Moving on to 45 now, inside 5 overs. 60's their total of just 5 overs. I mean, that was absolutely nailed. With the wind.
Oh, and he's putting the pressure on the fielder now. He spotted the fact that the man down at third man doesn't have the strongest arm, so as he hit that, he was immediately telling his partner Kohli he wanted to. I think LMS India will have learned from yesterday. They had the big man in the hat retired, and the guys in the middle probably didn't play with the intensity. In this game, looks like he's going to get another 50, and I think they're going to want to make sure that they really
pushing harder.
Push hard and make sure they continue the impetus here. Nick, you're still learning the LMS format. What's your strategy when a guy gets to 50? How would you approach it from there?
Look, I think you still got to trust the other players. I mean, we all know that Wasim Jaffer is the star player, and you do want to get him back in, but you don't want to get him back in with too many overs to go, because like anyone, you can get out and suddenly you're a bit stuffed. So you got to back the other players. I'm sure they'll try and do the right thing. A lot of the guys are quite experienced.
You're right. They're right. We've actually seen a team from New Zealand a few years ago in a big match. They had a gun player and they tried to get him back in. They lost all the wickets and they ended up, as you got back in, you got out first ball. So if you've got to still make the most of it, but you don't want to also leave your best man in the hat for too long, do you?
Exactly. I think if he comes in, with 1 over to go, then that's fine. And he can maybe top up on what he's done earlier on in the game. Kohli now getting in the act. Gets a sort of thick outside edge, but fairly well placed. Collects 4 there. Just good to see some of the other Indians contributing to this format. He moves on to 20 now.
I wonder if Virat's watching. Virat's a cousin of Rahul.
I have a feeling Virat won't be watching. I think he might be doing his own practice before the big Test match tomorrow. Actually, not tomorrow. Starts on Thursday. But Lord's Test match, really exciting time for India. They need to come back in that series, don't they?
They do. And you've been doing a bit of commentary work on that, haven't you?
Yeah, doing a bit for ESPN, Cricket Info. Always enjoy working for the boys there. Nice international base, and spent some time in India working for them, and yeah, really enjoy it. It's a great series to be a part of.
It's pushed out. Kohli's going to have to push the first one hard, yeah. It's good field in the outfield.
I think Wasim was quite keen to take the 2 there. Try and retire. He's on 49 now.
Yeah, so 7 overs gone, 69. They're going at 10 and over here. Projected score 200. And we've seen what we've noticed so far from this game is the bowling towards the commentary tent. It's just breaking up a little bit outside off stump. So we've seen more runs scored in heading towards the commentary tent. So the second 10 is going to be a bit tougher.
So you think this is the best place to bat?
This is the best
from
place,
this end?
definitely. But I'm not giving you any advice for later.
Oh, I've just written that down on my notes there. The boys will be in for a practice at 3:30, so I'll be passing on every bit of advice I can.
And you've got to know Ross Coward during this tournament. He's been wearing a New Zealand top one day, then he's England top the next day. Who do you think he'll be supporting later?
Well, mate, it's all up in the air. I'm not very happy about that, to be honest with you. I think, you can't pick and choose, can you? I'm sure whoever wins that game, he'll be in the bar with them afterwards, and the other team will be going home alone. I think we might have to have a little chat with him about that. It's just not on.
Yeah, born in Zimbabwe, raised in South Africa, Scottish grandparents, playing for Australia in the Masters tournament.
The ultimate mongrel.
So well batted Wasim Jaffer. That's got his 50. I think we might have missed what actually happened there with talking about Ross Coward, but that's 50 of 18 balls. Fantastic knock.
Just a strike rate of 277.
Nationals, didn't they, on Sunday? So
I think I have to get my act up a little bit and try and get my 50s a little bit quicker.
Well, listen, there's no pressure being in the commentary box here. I think you've been going great guns yourself there, Nick. I think you're the rock that the England lineups relying on. They've got some firepower down the order, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And I think, you come in here initially thinking you've got to sort of wham bam everything, and try and whack it. But if you watch the likes of Wasim Jaffer and even Shivnarine Chanderpool earlier this morning, and they've just batted. You're going to get the odd bad ball. There's so many 2s out there, and actually you can rein it in a bit, and actually you need to, because there's enough time, and you need to get your 50 and allow other guys to play their natural game. So, I think there's you're trying to find that balance, which is key.
You actually mentioned Shiv Chanderpool. Oh, that's huge. It's gone again. There's another door knocker there.
No, their insurance policy there. I tell you what, if you're owning a house over there, there'll be some serious premiums over the course of this week.
We've had a few other doors being hit so far in the tournament, not that one. We've got to see if anyone's at home there. Yeah, you're alluding to Chanderpool. In his first match, he held out at long off, trying to go big. I think it was quite early in his innings. And I think he's already learned from that he doesn't actually need to do that. And he played a very different knock. He played his own game today, just played normal cricket, as you were saying.
Yeah, I think I think Marcus North was the same. Second innings, he just batted and got himself a 50. I think the tendency is to try and really go for it. I know I felt that way in my first knock. I got a little bit lucky with a couple of drop catches. But yeah, second innings sort of quite enjoyed it, But look, I still enjoy coming out and whacking a few 6s. It feels good, doesn't it?
Well, Herschel Gibbs, when he was played at LMS in La Manga, we had a team called the Big Guns, and Herschel Gibbs came and played in that, and he was quite keen to get 250 of 10 balls every game, and he quickly realised that wasn't the way to approach it. He also did say that he preferred the afternoon games. I'm not sure quite.
I wonder why that was.
Yeah. But yeah, Herschel played some great knocks. And at different times of the day, he was maybe not always focused. But when he got in, he showed his class.
Yeah, great player. Love watching him. Oh, nice bit of bowling here from the captain, Nicholas. Just got a nice action actually. Gets a bit of turn every now and then.
He's the skipper. He's the skipper, and he's the one that's responsible for getting these guys out here. Kohli. So Kohli will be pleased with himself here. Struggled in the first 2 games. He's now moves on to 26 of 22. He's taken the helmet off.
He's a pretty boy like his cousin, eh? Wants the cameras to just make sure they know exactly it is.
Good to see Ricky Kostler watching. Ricky, I know you'll be supporting the UAE boys.
Going at just over 10 and over here, so pretty good start. What not normally happens is teams do get up with a good rate, and then it might go a little bit flat post 10 overs, and then you try and have a bit of a finish at the end, but no sign of letting up at the moment.
Well bowled, Nicholas.
Lovely flight dip, you know. I think spinners today, particularly with the wind, you know, just might use the wind to just drift it a little bit. Pakistan have got a very good spinner, and most teams have a decent spinner in their armoury. Nice bit of cricket there, just dab behind point using the pace, and that's 4 runs. Really good bit of cricket there from Gulati, who moves to 12 of just 5 balls. So he's come in and carried on where Wasim Jaffer left. He's come in, and that's the kind of thing you need to do if you're coming in at number 3 or after a big partnership. You know, you don't want to take too many balls to get going. Kohli seems to be playing a more sort of responsible innings, so it's important the other guy takes over and plays that positive role.
Wasim Jaffer's made a big difference to the side. They obviously didn't have him for the first game, and I'm sure the Indian players will agree they weren't at their best. In the field, the intensity levels were down, the running between the wickets was down. Jaffer made a big improvement to the team yesterday, and they seem to have gone up another level today.
Mr. Kohli just looking at his rather used bat there. I'm sure his cousin Virat might have a couple of spare ones in the tin for him.
We've got confirmation that Virat is watching. He's watching. He's just taken a break from his nets, and he's come to watch his cousin play. Yeah?
You never know. If India keeps struggling in the top order, I tell you what, if he gets a 50 not out here, he might put himself in the shop window.
Ahead of Jaffa probably as well.
Yeah, nothing like a bit of family support. He tends to pull the strings there, old Virat Kohli and that Indian team. That's a good blow, nice and straight where it came from. A full toss there, so not the best start from Mr. Hashim Ahmed, but a good blow from Mr. Kohli.
Done well there, Kohli. That kept a bit low. He stayed down on it. So it's obviously early in the game. The first priority for India would be to win this game, but they also probably need to stand a chance to get into the top 3, a bonus point win. So they first got to win the game, but they might also be considering that at the back of their mind. If they can get a bonus point win, they're straight back in the tournament. That's 6. 6 more.
Some good batting here, I tell you. There's some good blows here. Mr. Gulati, you can see he doesn't hit many singles.
Yeah, he's
he gets
clean
all
striker.
of his gets everything behind that. It's a lovely slog sweep. I tell you what, very good technique. Ball was right in the slot. Way above the rate here. India going at above 10 and over. So managing to keep up this run rate. It's not easy to do, but on course for the double century.
Yeah, if they can get 200 on the board and then restrict UAE to under 160, they take all 8 points from the game.
Come on, if Virat Kohli is out there, someone knows him, send him a text. Tell him to get on Facebook Live now in that 5-star hotel of his. I'm sure they'll be showing it live.
Have a look at your cousin, yeah. Surely there's something about him that can get himself at least into the change room. Maybe the odd net practice with the boys.
Yeah, just not sure about the forward defence, but some of the attacking shots are pretty good.
So all bowlers come in for a bit of tap. Bose 1 for 19. He's actually a very good bowler. I know he'll come back well.
That's some action, I have to say. I've watched a lot of cricket over my life. I think Paul Adams came to mind. Certainly haven't seen an action like that. It must be very vigorous on the old body. Doesn't look comfortable.
I'm sure he must get a few guys out with his first delivery. I don't think people are expecting the way it comes out.
Lovely bit of timing that. That is a gorgeous shot. I mean, just dropped the bat on it. Wasn't trying to hit it too hard, and I really did enjoy that shot. Such a tendency in this form of the game to try and overhit the ball. You know you want to score quickly, but when you do time one like that, it is a pleasure to watch.
The Indian supporters are much happier here today. They were disappointed with their team yesterday. But a lot of thumbs up on the live feed, yeah. Well adjusted. Good cricket there.
Big gap through extra cover. If I was batting now, you've got to be thinking, if I can just push it in now, hit it well, I might get 4, but definitely going to get 2. Backward point and a mid-off now, so as a batter, you just want to try and make sure you hit these gaps.
It's 110 for the loss of no wicket. All 8 wickets in the bank.
He's hit it exactly there, right in that spot where there's no fielder. I'm not convinced about this fielding placing here. I just think you're setting yourself up. Got to bowl fuller, got to bowl a bit straighter. Bowling wide here, giving the batsman too many options. Kohli using all his experience, just messing around the crease there, giving himself a bit of room.
I think the field may be a bit fine as well. They're correcting it now, moving a bit squarer.
He's gone again through the offside, and that is another shot through extra cover. So Kohli must be listening to me here on the comms.
Yeah, so we're just looking at the league table here. LMS England and LMS Pakistan, 2 undefeated teams in this tournament. The team that wins the group gets straight through to the semi-final. That's why they shade in a slightly different colour. Second and third qualify for quarter-final matches. And then the teams in the red have some catching up to do.
All to play for, though.
I'm not quite sure what Nicholas is doing there. He's bowled and fetched his own ball. I think it's punishment for putting his keeper under pressure there.
Yeah, again, he's opted for the variation, this faster thrown off spinner.
And just watch him go off after this delivery.
I mean, if that's 15 degrees, I'm not sure. But
and then he went and collected the ball of his own bowling there. He's going to be shattered after that.
Lovely guy, Nicholas. Had a good chat with him yesterday. Really nice guys. Love the game of cricket. Really enjoying this format.
Should be out.
Nice catch.
Deepak Nicholas plays for the Roaring Lions in the LMS UAE League. He's the captain of that team.
Gujarati he played a nice innings there, but a little bit frustrated. He's hit a long hop straight to, or a full banger straight to Cal Corner, who's taken a pretty easy catch. A little bit cold, so he's hurt his hand there a little bit. Might have a change in the commentary box now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and strap up and get a bit warmer.
We're looking forward to watching you play later, Nick. Good luck.
Don't blink.
And we'd like to welcome Lee Dixon back into the commentary box. Lee, good to join us for the first time today.
Hi, Wayno. Have I missed out on much? I've not had a chance to get back into the commentary box today, but looking forward to seeing some more really good of this World Championships.
Yeah, the first game of the day was a really good one. Singapore restricted Sri Lanka to 160. The run chase started fairly well, maybe a little bit slow. You missed an outstanding double play.
I actually didn't miss out on that double play because I follow LMS on Twitter.
Okay.
And I got to see that before, and it looked fantastic work. Was it Solomon's from Sri Lanka?
Yeah, it was. We got him in the interview as well.
So anyway, this is Shanice Nada. He's world ranked at 743 in the world. Average of 36. And he's just took his guard here. Very strong start from India against the UAE. It's 123 for 1 off 11 overs. As Nicholas comes in. I'm not sure if there's a little feather through to the keeper there, but there's no run. Comes in again. Obviously the weather not quite what it has been. He bowls a little bit quicker, and he's been absolutely dismissed over extra cover there for a 1 bounce 4. Just shows sometimes when a spinner feels like they've bamboozled the bat of the ball before they try and run one through them, and he's just got the length wrong there, and he's gone forcefully through the offside. So just coming towards the end of this over now. It's gone high into the leg side, down towards the canal. Fielder runs around, just can't cut it off there. Crashes into the last man stands advertising hoarding there. And another 4. The UAE have got to do something quick here, because this game's just starting to get away with them.
Yeah, both teams searching for their first win here. India look like they've got an eye on winning this one with the bonus points.
So obviously India today were missing one of their key players, KB, still out with a pectoral strain. We're hoping he can get back into the commentary box here, and actually, as I mentioned, that he's just coming past, so I think Wayne's going to jump out the box so I can have a little chat with KB.
Yeah, just before I go, I just would like to make a special mention to Shiv Chanderpaul, who's playing. He's just played a game for LMS USA, and they've asked for a friendly on the back pitch against the Masters side of South Africa. And Shiv said he's going to make himself available in the friendly game there to give the South African guys on tour a chance to play against him, which is really great. But after he's finished in that game, he's going to come and do some commentary as well. So look out for Shiv later in the commentary box.
That's great stuff. So as Wayne Grieve departs, KB, a key member of this Indian side, is going to do his second stint in the commentary box here. Good afternoon, KB.
Afternoon, Matt. How are you?
Very, very good. A little bit cold for you today.
Oh, it's very chilly over here today.
Does it ever get this cold back at home?
Yeah, but not in this time.
Not this time of year. Well, you've got to be really happy with the way your boys have started here.
The lads are playing very well today. 12 overs for 132.
So what sort of score do you reckon you'll be looking for here?
200 plus. We need to win with the bonus points this time.
Well, it's just looking at the projected score on the bottom of the screen here. If we carry on at this run rate, you're looking at 228. Do you think that'll be enough to maybe attract a bonus point win today?
Yeah, that'll be enough, but I think they should go for more.
Oh, well. Well, obviously, missing yourself down the order there. Do you want to just fill the guys in on that pectoral strain as... Who is that, Nada?
Another 4.
Straight down the ground there. That was a lovely shot. Captain Coley looked very happy with that, didn't he? PJ just tossed it up. He's got quite a unique action, PJ. He was compared to Paul Adams, but obviously
yes.
Paul Adams, but right-handed, the old South African spinner. As he tries to repeat the dose there, but PJ getting the better of him there. So just going back to your injury, do you want to fill the supporters in on exactly where you're at?
It's not a major injury right now. I'll be ready for the last game. Not sure, but still hoping for the best.
So you're hoping that your teammates can really help you out here and gain a couple of bonus point wins?
Yeah.
With the hope that you'll end up playing in a key game towards the end of the week?
We should win this game and try to win all the games, because the next game is very important. It's against England.
Well, that's a massive game, isn't it? And obviously that replicates the current Test series at the moment. I'm sure you boys were watching the end of the Test match,
Yep.
which we managed to get over the line, and I thought we were fantastic there. But the standout performer on both sides is Coley. He's a key wicket, isn't he?
Yeah. That was a very good game. We should have won, but England outplayed us.
It's a massive improvement from the last time you were in the UK, though, because the Indian team really struggled, didn't they? So looks like they're a team on the up, and hopefully both LMS India and the Indian Test team can sort out previous defeats and come back with a win.
Yeah, they should. It'll be good for the boys.
So tell me a little bit about is there many people watching at home or tuning in on how you boys are getting on?
Yeah. Everyone is loving over there. They're enjoying it. I think quite a people are watching it live right now also.
That's fantastic. What time is it back in India at the moment?
Let me check. What time is it right now? It's
just coming up to 2:30 UK standard.
7. In India it should be 7 right now.
So we've got quite a few guys from different franchises here. Do you want to explain where some of these guys are from?
Yes, why not? Let's start with the Praveen. I think the Praveen Nair from Chennai. He plays for Chennai BB Gunners.
Chennai is a real hotbed of cricket in India.
Yeah. And there is Vaibhav Singh. He's a very good player. We have seen the last 2 games. He played very well.
He has done very well. He nearly won the game against Scotland.
That was close game. Last ball 6, he would have made it.
Do you think that maybe some of your boys will look back on some of the tactics in that game and maybe try to get in as the ball goes into the air? And that looks like a 6 for the captain.
Goal is on fire today. And that's his 50, I think.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
That'll make him feel a lot better as captain. I'm sure he's been disappointed as he walked straight across in front the off stump. He went back in and then held his shape beautifully, and that went sailing over the guy at long on for 6 more. So that takes him to 149 off 13. I think that 220 is very much in grasp now.
Yeah, I think more than that will work for us, because it seems like bowling we are a little lacking in that.
Yeah, you employed a lot of spin bowling in the game yesterday. I know you've got Praveen as one of your seamers. Is there anyone else who can bowl any seam?
Ganesh will bowl today.
Ganesh,
yep.
Okay, cool.
He will bowl.
And obviously yourself, you tend to mix your pace up. How would you describe your bowling for the people who haven't seen it at home?
No, sorry, I didn't get much.
Sorry, I know you mix your pace up when you're bowling.
Yeah.
So how would you describe your bowling to the people watching online?
Just stick to the basics.
There's nothing.
And that's it, because if you do the basics right, you'll be fine.
Bowling at the moment is my friend Bose. He was on the comms yesterday. He was watching intently as his UAE boys were watching on as he runs in. Extremely unlucky there. It was squirted away down towards fine leg.
And it's a 4.
I think it shows massively, that the support in the field is absolutely vital. And I know that India have probably been a little bit unhappy with some of their fielding in the first couple of games, so hopefully looking to improve that.
Yeah, we should feel today good.
So for a lot of your players, is this the first time in England?
Yeah, it's the first time in England.
So have you been taking in any of the sights? Did you do anything nice last evening?
No, not really.
So is that something for your day off tomorrow?
Yeah, we're having off tomorrow, so we'll go out somewhere.
Have you decided where to go yet, or?
We'll take you along with us.
Well, is there any soccer fans or football fans?
No, I don't think. No, nobody likes soccer.
No, well,
especially back in India.
There was a football league going on out in India. Has it not really took off?
No, it is, but cricket is like more popular over there.
We're looking again at these projected scores. We mentioned 228 just a few moments ago. I think we may be looking up towards that 230, especially with Vahab in. Nada smashes it out to deep cover. Now I've heard that quite a lot. Shabash.
Shabash, it's been come on.
Come on. So, I know a lot of people at home may think that's me eating a bag of crisps. That's actually KB taking away his ice pack on his injured muscle there.
Don't lie, mate. You're having chips.
So obviously there'll be a few people watching at home at the moment. If you want to speak to them in your own language and just explain to them what you're expecting from the rest of the game.
Yeah, sure, why not?
We had Ali, I don't know if you heard yesterday, Ali from Pakistan.
Okay.
He was on speaking to some of the South Punjab guys, and that went down really well. So if you just want to maybe commentate for the next few minutes, that'd be great.
Sure. कैसे हो दिल्ली वालों? Hello India, how are you guys? Let me tell you about this format first. ये 5 बॉलों का ओवर होता है एक, एंड इसमें वाइड्स की पेनल्टीज भी होती हैं, एंड आफ्टर 50 रन मारने के बाद आपको यहाँ से रिटायर होना पड़ता है और फिर बाद में आना पड़ेगा. थोड़ा फॉर्मेट डिफरेंट है यहाँ से. एंड दैट्स अ वाइड बॉल एंड दैट्स अ 2 रन. सो गाइस सपोर्ट करो इंडिया को. ऑलराइट.
Obviously, I can't compete with that, so I'm going to stay with my my slightly northern English. But I'm sure quite a lot of people will be enjoying that KB on Facebook Live, and it's also a link through Sports Wiki as well, as PJ comes in, looking to just tighten up those bowling figures there. He's none for 36 after those 3 overs. Vahab is 9 off 5. Nada is 28 off 13. So which franchise do you play for back in?
LMS Gurgaon Daily Scorchers.
So are they a good team?
It's a very good team.
Yeah.
We won Gurgaon champions, but we lost the last match. So hopefully we're gonna play again from Gurgaon itself.
Is there any other players from your franchise over with you on this trip?
Kanishk Nanda and Rahul Kohli.
So Nada is on strike at the moment, and Kohli's already retired with his 50. So very strong team there, as we have just over 4 overs left here. Quite a few of the Scottish boys just in the nets in the background there. They'll be very excited to play again after their win yesterday, as there is a dot ball.
Ganesh looked really eager. He want to hit all the ball for sixes.
Is he a very aggressive player?
Yeah, he's very aggressive.
Dead ball there from Navas, signalled by the umpire. He obviously just lost his run up there. So obviously the weather here in beautiful Chester isn't quite as glorious as it's been for the first 2 days, but while the rain's off, I'm sure that's all that really matters, and brings in a few different conditions as Nada goes for another expansive shot down the ground.
For none.
It's certainly going to go a long way if he makes contact with it here. There's a very big gap at deep mid wicket at the moment. Long on is very, very straight near the side screen, and deep mid wicket is quite square as Navas comes in.
And that's a bonus runs for us.
That's so frustrating for the UAE. He's just bowled a couple of really good balls there, and then any sort of pressure that's been built up has just been blown away as this. He's just lost his shape. His wrist hasn't got behind the ball, and that's been drained down the leg side, and that's very similar to Harmison at the start of the Ashes all those years ago.
That's how we would ball.
Another hard shot out into the deep here. So KB, hopefully we'll be able to see a little bit more of you later in the week.
Yeah, definitely.
So are you going to, sticking out on the line, are you going to be positive and say that India will make playoffs?
Yeah, we will definitely play for the playoffs.
And who have you got left to play?
Twitch is there, Meg is there.
What teams have you got left to play yourself?
England and New Zealand.
So England look a very, very strong team.
So is New Zealand, although they lost yesterday.
Well, not that you'd want to take too much advice from Pakistan,
No.
your arch enemy, but they bowled a lot of spin bowling at the top of the innings. Batty got 5 wickets, bowled brilliantly.
Brilliant, yeah.
So maybe you could take a leaf out of their book. So what I'm going to do, KB, if that's okay, I've managed to track down the groundsman of this fine ground. So I'm just going to call in Alex Kegg into the box here.
Right,
So thank you, KB, and maybe if you could pop back round towards the India bowling innings, we'll be able to catch up again.
Surely so much.
Cheers.
All right, cheers.
So Nada just out into the deep there. So welcome, Alex. Thanks for coming into the box with me today.
Thank you, Nate. It's a pleasure.
So there's been a number of fine compliments about the ground. Do you want to just give us a little bit of a background about the ground here at Chester and a little bit about the wicket that they're playing on today?
It's been quite a hot week last couple of days, and the wicket's a little bit drier than I expected, so it's taken a bit of turn. Wickets had quite a few games on it, sort of 8 or 9 games on it at the moment, so it's getting a bit tricky, but we'll get a bit of water on it tomorrow and should spice it up a little bit.
So obviously we've got a rest day tomorrow, so that's a rest day for the teams, but it'll be a busy day for you. What's the plan? Will he be staying on this pitch for another day, or will he be moving towards one of the newer pitches?
We're on this pitch tomorrow, on Thursday should I say, and the wickets on the left that they played on Sunday and Monday will be flooded out, and then we can roll it out tomorrow and everything should be hunky-dory again.
So obviously there was a lot of spin bowling used yesterday afternoon. I think a few of the teams, Pakistan had a lot of joy with opening with a spinner, and here at Chester it does tend to dry out and spin the more the games are played on it. Do you think that the seam bowlers may come back into it as the new pitch is opened out?
I wouldn't have thought so. I think it's going to be one of those ones that's just generally going to deteriorate as the few days goes on, because they're just so old now, and we're getting to the end of the season, so it's getting tricky to find newer wickets. I've only literally got one more left for a Cheshire game a week on Sunday.
Well, as you were talking there, that's a really important wicket for UAE. That's Vahab, who's been in excellent form, and that's a bit of a massive blow for India, though they are well ahead in this game, 181. They're looking to get a massive score and try and get a chance of getting the bonus point in this game, but that's right at the top of the middle stump. So that's nice to see a bit of joy for the Seamers, who seem to have found this a bit of a graveyard in the first couple of days. As Seamer yourself, Alex, I know you prefer coming from this end, the city end. Is there any particular nuances or benefits to bowling from either end on this pitch one?
Basically, I've always bowled from this end because I'm an away swinger, and the slope tends to carry it on. It's quite tricky to bowl at the other end if you're an away swinger because the slope seems to fight you. A lot of people seem to think there's no such thing as the ball fighting against the slope, but it generally does happen here at Chester.
Yeah, I know you've had a lot of experience coming from this City Road end, and the ball has been swinging just a little bit in these first few overs, but it hasn't done a great deal as soon as the lacquer and the hardness has come off the ball. Is there any team or any bowler that you've seen? I'll should be able to help you with any names that you've saw that really took your eye.
The young lad from Australia, the left armour.
So that's Jake O'Connell. He's a 17-year-old from Brisbane. He was the #1 ranked player in the Australian Championships. He seemed to be extremely impressive.
Yes, very good, especially from this end with being left arm swinging it away down the hill.
Well, it's something we certainly don't see a lot of at Chester, as we haven't got a left arm seamer, but it's amazing on a wicket that isn't a wicket that isn't really helping swing bowlers with the conditions until today. To see him, he was getting a genuine little bit of movement and coming over and around the wicket as well.
Yes. I say that the slope tends to help you as a swing bowler here always. I was impressed on the background yesterday with the South African team against, I think it was Singapore. I thought that was an absolutely fantastic game of cricket.
Well, I think a lot of people were impressed with the South African team. As there's a wicket, Kanish Nada is really not very happy there with Praveen. There's been a mix-up and quite a simple run out for the umpire to give there. Just watching this back, I think that went out to Dada in the deep. The wicketkeeper did really well there, just an underarm. Oh, right. So I'm going to ask you to get off the fence there. What do you think about that as a run-out decision?
I'd like to see it again. That was definitely very, very close. I don't think that was out.
Well, it's nice to see you get off the fence there, but at least the lines that you've painted in there are very clear. Probably a bit too clear for our viewers at home, and it's not really going to help the umpire there. But the Indians here are just starting to panic a little bit here. They clearly know that they need a big score. They know that they need to post a score that the UAE can get nowhere near to ensure they get the 2 bonus points. The UAE would have to get within 80% just to get 2 bonus points, or obviously chase the score down. Yeah, you mentioned obviously Jake O'Connell. Have you seen anything of the England team so far, Alex?
Yes, I watched Compton batting the other day. He was absolutely fantastic.
Adil Hussain, the quick bowler, or we've got Haroon Khan as well.
No, I'm talking about the batsman lead.
Oh, you mean from Pakistan?
Yes.
Oh, Abdul Razak.
Abdul Razak hit some of the biggest sixes I've ever seen hit here yesterday. It was just amazing.
Well, it is fantastic for us as locals to the ground here to be able to see some of these world-class cricketers play. Obviously, we've had Nick Compton, Abdul Razak, Wasim Jaffer, Shiv Chanderpaul, James Franklin. I know Nick Pathias is coming as well to be part of that South African team. You mentioned the game on the back pitch between South Africa and Singapore. I think everyone who was here yesterday thoroughly enjoyed it. We even cut the feed from the front pitch to the back pitch when we saw Manpreet Singh come out as the last man standing and get past that extremely impressive South African side. I think they really took that hard, the South Africans, and they're even playing some additional friendly matches today to make sure that they're up to speed for later in the tournament. So there's a couple of games going on the back pitch here. Is a bit more sloppy fielding from the UAE, and Praveen gets back again. He's in with Meg, And we've got 2 pitches here at Chester, obviously 1 televised pitch. There's been some extremely high scores on the back. Is there any difference in the wickets, Alex?
The 2 wickets are very different, as the back wicket was a constructed wicket in the 1970s, and the square on the front is just an original from 130-40 years ago. So the wicket on the back has a lot more pace and bounce, and obviously the smaller boundaries on the back help with batters as well.
So as a batter myself, I know that with the ball coming on and those short boundaries, you do feel like you're in. There's absolutely no margin for error also. Just on the outfields, because obviously this year this has been by far the hottest summer I've seen for a long time. I don't know about you, Keggy, but the outfields have just started to get their colour back. They've been extremely bare. How have you managed to keep this in such fine condition? Because you know, a lot of the players have been commenting on how quick the outfields are.
We're generally still cutting, even during the height of the summer with the sunshine that we've had. We're still cutting 2-3 times a week just to keep everything polished and nice and tidy, really.
Is that just a personal preference for you, or is that something that most groundsmen will be doing at the moment?
It's just a personal preference for me, but it happens at county grounds because obviously they have the staff, and I'm very lucky that I have very good standard of equipment here, so I can do it 2-3 times a week.
Well, I know from seeing some of the pictures, I know you're good friends, and so am I, with Daniel Berry at Hyde, who's a groundsman there. He shared a photo of some very, very heavy rain on a Friday night. The ground was literally underwater, and then the next day it looked lush and dry and fantastic. So the ground, you know, if there was to be some heavy rain, would it take long for the water to soak through?
Generally not at Chester, because it's a very, very good draining ground. And we've also purchased this year a super blotter, which has just been absolutely fantastic.
Just to jump in there, that's a fantastic shot from Praveen. I know a number of the guys back home, I know will be watching, and he's just got inside the line beautifully there and punched that through cover. The UAE of going to be chasing, you know, well in excess of 200 here. As Bose comes into bowl, he's in the block hole. Praveen just opens the face of the bat. And I know, Alex, with literally a couple of balls to go now, you're going to have to get off and do your repairs at the half-time period. It's been great to have you in the box. I know we'll get to speak to you later in the week, but hope it continues to go as well as it has done for you.
Cheers, thank you, Lee.
So we're just coming into the last 6 balls of this innings as Bose just nearly gets a wicket there. Meg comes across, the keeper tries to go for the run out, but Praveen gets home. And this is going to take us into the final over. LMS India 200 for 3. So coming into the final over here, the current run rate just over 10 and over, so that will take us up to around 213. I think that they'll be looking at that home run ball though, and the potential of maybe getting up to 220. As Mir comes in around the wicket, Meg just opens his body there, he's punched that behind square, it's racing away down towards the scoreboard. A lovely bit of footwork there by the UAE fielder as Navas comes in and throws. Excellent running by Meg there, he gets 3. Just looking down at some of the strike rates of some of these Indian batsmen back in their home franchises, they're all striking in and around 180 to 200. So as the ball's pitched up again by Amir, a nice stop, good commitment in the outfield there. Praveen, another overthrow. And that's 3 more, so I'll take Praveen to 14 off 8 balls. Plenty more to look forward to today here on LMS Live on Facebook. If you're watching, please do comment on Facebook Live. as some of the Scottish boys here are just having a wander around back behind the side screen. Full ball through to the keeper. They've stole a single here. I'll be interested to see if the umpire calls that wide. No, it's called as a bye. One of the stars of the Scottish team yesterday, Fraser Watts, is just coming past him. I'm just going to get him to jump in the box with me for the final few balls here. Hi Fraser.
How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Just obviously watching the back end of this game between the Indians and the UAE, the first innings here. You guys must be absolutely chuffed with yesterday's victory.
Oh, really pleased, yeah. Obviously it was my first game and it was just nice to get a win under our belts. Everyone played really well, and as I'm sure you saw, it was a cracking game. Everyone seemed to enjoy it. It came down to the last ball, so it was really exciting for everyone.
It was fantastic for me to see. I know you've been very lucky to play ODIs and T20 for the full Scotland side, and obviously making your debut yesterday for LMS Scotland. But to see your reaction after the final ball, when I think it was you who took the catch down the far end, it was something, very almost like Dalglish. The arms went aloft, running around. It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I've had a bit of stick from that from my friends on Facebook, but yeah, no, it's good. I mean, it's obviously a great thing to be part of, and obviously it's fun, but it's good to play with a bit of competition as well. So to get a hard-fought victory yesterday, we're all very, very chuffed with that. So yeah, it was showed in the reaction, I suppose.
Well, the Indian team there have managed to get to a score. It looks in the region of about 209, 210 there. Just waiting for confirmation of the final score. As they walk off, they've got to be looking for a bonus point victory today. I think that game with yourselves yesterday was absolutely key, and with them losing that game, they're absolutely very keen to try and get this bonus point today.
100%, yeah. I mean, I think they've lost 2 from 2, so they have to win today, and as you say, get that bonus point, which certainly help them a lot and help them hopefully, from their point of view, qualify for the finals.
For your point of view, you're probably hoping the UAE managed to chase this down. Or will it make very little difference to the standings? Is it more down to what you're doing than other teams at the moment?
That's right. We're planning to win all the rest of our games anyway, so it doesn't really matter what anyone else does. We'll just we'll beat them all.
Okay, just looking at a little summary of the scorecard there. Wasim Jaffer 50 off 18. That's not a bad strike rate at all. Raul Kohli, the captain, 52 off 30. So that looks like an excellent opening partnership. That's 40 off 21 for Kanish Nada, and Kakshia gets 31 off 11. So that leaves them on 209 for 4 at the end of the 20 overs there. I'm sure the UAE will be, I wouldn't say overly happy with that score. It's probably 10 or 20 over par, but just looking at some of the bowling figures, Amir Khan again getting a wicket early on, just going at 8 and over, but the rest of the bowling figures there, pretty expensive. So have you got anything from yesterday with, obviously yourself? Do you think it's more suited to the slower bowlers, the wicket?
I think, yeah, as you've seen, it's quite dry and it's turning, and I personally find it a bit easier with pace on the ball, and some decent spinners around. It's quite hard to actually work them, and obviously if it's spinners, you've got to put the pace on the ball yourself, and it's certainly easier, I think, against the seamers.
Well, just talking about your opening partnership yesterday, young Rory Johnson, he's come down, part of the Scottish development setup. He really set the game alight yesterday with yourself. Obviously that opening partnership was absolutely key. He even managed to retire, just snuck in ahead of you, which means he got to come back in before you. But the catch, well, it was a catch stroke stop for 6 down here, was fantastic.
It was brilliant. He's a really athletic guy, as you can see, young boy, and a really good batter, as you said. But his fielding, it was exceptional as well. We were actually discussing that last night, and I was at sort of deep mid wicket, and I probably could have and should have run round and taken the catch and completed the full play, as it were. But I was a bit too slow, so we didn't.
So we're just going to have a little look at Pool A while you're here. Obviously, at the moment, LMS Pakistan look like the front runners in this group, so there's definitely maybe a couple of spots. England will have something to say with that, looking to finish top as well, but there's a couple of teams clamouring below that grey line, and you guys are on equal points with New Zealand at the moment. Just that run rate after that first day's defeat to England, it looked like a much improved team and performance yesterday, from my opinion. But just looking at that Who do you think could qualify from that group?
I think, as you said, anyone can really. I mean, I think evidence so far suggests Pakistan are one of the stronger sides. They've had 2 pretty convincing victories, so I think that people do well to sort of knock them off the top there. But I think anyone really can qualify still. We're still hoping to get a couple more victories under our belt and get in that top 3. And as you say, India really need to win today, otherwise they're in a bit of bother.
So who have you got left to play?
We have got Pakistan today, New Zealand I think on Thursday, and UAE on Friday.
So realistically, obviously you're looking to win all those games, but I think if you could definitely get a victory over one of the 2 sides currently in the top 3, and then maybe try and pick up the UAE on the final day, maybe even with a bonus point, that would give you a really good chance to maybe going into the quarter-final.
Definitely. I mean, as you say, realistically, I think if we can try and beat one of Pakistan or New Zealand, then that gives us a really good chance going into that final game against the UAE. So I think winning one of the next 2 would be great. Obviously 2 would be better, but if 1 out of 2 would certainly be good, and then win that last one against UAE.
So how much interest has there been in this back in Scotland? I know you spoke to a couple of your friends and family just regarding stuff that was going on Facebook Live. Is there much interest?
Yeah, there is. LMS, I think it started 2 or 3 years ago up in Scotland, and it's been really good. Paul Reddish and Colin Mills have sort of started it up there, and it's a really good game because as you know nowadays people haven't got as much time on their hands, and having a sort of game of LMS takes 2 hours, and you can justify it to the rest of your family if you nip out for a couple of hours rather than having to go away for a whole day to play cricket. And people really enjoy the concept. It's exciting, it's a bit different. There's a few extra rules, the double play rule, which has stuffed a few people. It's really good. It makes it fun, it makes it exciting, and it's not too time consuming. You
just mentioned the double play. Did you manage to see the double play in the Sri Lanka game this morning?
I didn't know what happened.
Yeah, well, obviously the ball's come out. Solomon's actually managed to take a catch off his own bowling and then ran someone out with a direct hit. So you can watch that on replay on LMS Twitter.
I'll have a look at that, definitely.
Merciless plug there. So what have you got planned for the rest of the day? And obviously you've got Pakistan later on. Have you just got? I've just seen you boys down in the nets. Is anyone hitting it particularly sweet today?
Everyone's hitting it pretty well. I've actually used that net session as more of a mobility session, trying to actually warm up and be able to bend over because the muscles are a bit tight this morning, having not played that much cricket recently. So. But the guys are hitting it well. Sam Ferguson's hitting very well. Everyone's in pretty good nick with bat and ball, so we're pretty comfortable and looking forward to a big game today.
I spoke to Farid yesterday. I know that he was quite sore. He went for a bit of a diving catch down there, but he looks like quite a handy bowler.
He's a good all-rounder actually. You saw him, he got 38 yesterday off not many balls, and he hits a really clean ball, and he's a good guy to come in, if we get a platform up top. He's a really handy guy to come in and sort of push innings forward, and then obviously with the ball he turning wicket as we said, and he really does bowl some pretty good leggies. I think his biggest problem is actually controlling the spin because he spins it so much. So hoping for big things from him again today.
We've literally just had the groundsman in the box just before you, and he was saying that there's one more day's cricket on this wicket on Thursday, and then they're going to be moving across to the wicket to the left, which is slightly less worn. It's going to be given a good drowning of rain, not of rain, of water. Well, it could be rain actually, looking at the clouds around us at the moment, but and hopefully it's to dry out to come back on Thursday, Friday and for finals. So do you think some of the teams may employ more spin in the middle of the week and then have to go back to team with the newer wicket, or do you think it's that dry that the slower bowling is going to be still very prominent?
Well, looking at that left wicket, it looks a lot greener. Obviously it's not being used as much, so I'd imagine that there will be more in it for the seamers come later in the week. So yeah, teams probably have to think about that definitely, and maybe look to get the seamers in the game a bit more than the spinners have done at the start of the week.
So obviously just coming back to this game, LMS India 209 in that first innings. Wasim Jaffar's made a massive difference. Obviously a marquee player yourself, playing all those ODIs and T20s. Must be amazing year for Scottish cricket after turning over England. Did you manage to get to the game yourself?
Yeah, I saw a bit of it. Yeah, it was a special day, and it's nice because a lot of people have said, we've beaten England obviously, which is great, but the fact it wasn't a sort of fluky victory, blow them out on a rubbish wicket, whatever. We went toe to toe with them for 100 overs and won an absolutely outstanding game, and it's really great because it puts Scottish cricket on the map. And I think in the past a lot of teams have gone up to Edinburgh to have a game and sort of taken it quite lightly, but I don't think that'll ever happen again after that victory.
So you're expecting the next time England and Scotland meet up that England will be after some blood there, will they?
I would imagine so. There's generally a lot on it between Scotland and England. It's been a good year for Scottish sport, actually. Obviously after the rugby as well, which I'd like to remind English people about. There was the rugby and the cricket, so we're just trying to find other sports to play against England at the moment.
Well, luckily for us that Scotland didn't qualify for the Football World Cup, so that gives us a bit of a respite, but I know I'm extremely positive that England may be making it come home later in the week here as well. I know you've got to try and qualify out the same group. You missed the game against England earlier in the week, but the English team looked very impressive, and I know the English full English ODI team will be vying for blood there when they come back to play in Scotland again. And the thing is as well, is what was great for Scotland is that it was a very, very strong English side as well, and I think that's just adds to that point, about people going up there and maybe not taking it as seriously as they should.
Definitely, and it's good because the current Scottish side is so strong, compared to back in the time when I was playing. This Scotland side has got a big squad, and they're all really, really good quality cricketers, and the progress that they've made under guys like Grant Bradburn and Toby Bailey and these guys, it's just immense. And it's good to see because now they can go toe to toe with anyone in the world really, and give them a really good game and potentially beat them.
What I've been impressed with the Scottish Cricket Board is that I know from spending a bit of time out in Australia, and I know my brother playing over in Albury in Australia, there was a number of Scottish players that were sent over there during the winter to gain experience, and when there was internationals or opportunities to come back and play for Scotland were bringing them back from Australia. I think that's just a fantastic commitment to their development, and rather than saying, well, we've got a game in 2 months' time, you need to stay at home because the flight is this, it seems like they're really kind of almost putting the money where the mouth is.
Exactly, and in the past I think it's been the opposite of that. Money has been tight, and they've had to make those decisions. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Everything is geared towards player development and sending these guys abroad. Rory Johnson, who you mentioned earlier on, he was in Australia this winter, had a really good Australian summer, and came back, and he's absolutely flying this for us this summer. So it just really shows doing that is a good idea.
Okay, just to jump in there, so Praveen's going to start up from the city end here. There's quite a strong breeze coming from behind us here in the commentary position, as the UAE batsmen look to hit it just over 10 and over to try and get their first victory of this World Championship. Praveen's had a bit of a mixed start with the ball. He's been fractionally expensive, but he does seem to create chances. The Indian fielding has to improve to give them any chance of qualifying out this group.
Yeah, I'd agree. It wasn't great yesterday. I think Mozim Jaffer admitted that after the game, that the fielding was a bit below par, so I'd imagine they'll have had a think about that last night, and will hopefully come out firing today, I'm sure.
Well, Shiraz has got off the mark there. He's just tickled the ball down to the fine leg region. Vahab's just gone and picked it up and lobbed it back in, and that's got them off to a really nice start. So where's your money?
I think India, it's a tough chase. 210 is a lot of runs, and score with pressure and all that, but yeah, it's going to have to be a really good effort from the UAE to win this.
So I wish you a lot of luck for your game later on today, as Praveen just tries it looks like a cutter. He's held on the ball just a little bit too long in the hand there, and it's gone wide. The keeper, Meg's, just done really well there. The brother of Dwidge, the spin bowler who we'll see later on today. But wish you boys all the best, and hope to maybe catch you after you've retired for 50. If you want to come over, have a little wander and tell me a bit about the game, that'd be fantastic.
Happy to do that. Thanks very much.
Cheers, pal. It's my lucky day today. I've just got rid of one franchise player in Fraser Watts there of Scotland, and been joined by another. Welcome back, James Franklin.
Cheers, Lee. Nice to be here, but cooler today.
A fair bit cooler on the ground here at Chester, as Shiraz has just picked that up beautifully through the leg side. Praveen's just drifted onto his pads, and that's gone what will be 10 rows back into the invisible stand, which is the housing estate on the right hand side here. I know a number of the local residents have decided to move their cars to a safer place, especially with the likes of Wasim Jaffer and Abdul Razak yesterday. As Praveen comes into bowl, and he's gone again. That's even bigger, and that has gone flush into the housing estate there. They may have to change the ball. That took a hefty thud, and the UAE look like they mean absolute business here, James.
Absolutely, a heck of a shot. You'd say that the owners of these houses are worried about their cars. They should also be worried about their windows.
The beauty of I think some of the owners of these houses, though, James, is I think if you can afford to live in these, they can afford a new window.
Well, I see behind us, I think it's the club captain's house directly behind us. You won't be able to see it on screen. He's actually done the smart thing and covered his whole house in netting and framing to make sure that there's no damage from flying cricket balls.
Yeah, we had him on the comms yesterday. That's club captain Chris Fleet, just talking about his house and the fact that he's obviously done quite a lot of work to get this balcony set up in place and then covered it in cricket netting. So, oh my lord, and there's another one that's gone miles back. And that's another 6. That's 3 in the over.
There we go. Just on screen there, we could see the extent that the club captain had gone to protecting his house. Here we go. You can see all that framing and the netting. It just bounced that ball about 3 or 4 metres short of his house. So he's a wise man.
That's an amazing first over from the UAE, and I know the Indians are going to be quite concerned here because they're absolutely desperate for a bonus point as the top of the table side. The Pakistan lads just come past in front of me here.
They're all smiling nicely at me because they gave my team, LMS New Zealand, absolute hiding yesterday. So they're all smiles today, the Pakistan boys.
Well, I got to spend a little bit of time with Ali in the box yesterday, and he was telling me about Shabazz Khan. He's just walking past me here in his blazer from the South Punjab region. So I know a lot of people at home are tuning in for him. This is his first time out of his village, and Ali was telling me how fantastic it is. He was saying how high the buildings are and stuff like that. So it just shows how amazing this tournament is, just to give people the opportunity to see a different part of the world.
Absolutely, it's wonderful for them to represent their countries in this format of the game and come and experience another country and its cultures. So great for those Pakistan lads, and they're obviously playing very well as well.
So Wasim Jaffer's come in. It's gone high in the air here. Praveen's underneath it right in front of us, and that's a great catch. He's gone for the double play. But there's the first wicket, so Wasim Jaffer has made the breakthrough. Have you ever got to play against Wasim in first-class cricket?
No, I haven't, but he's been a prolific run scorer in Indian first-class cricket for well over 20 years. He dominated the Ranji Trophy. I think he's upwards of around 50 first-class hundreds, and we've just seen here now he's actually too shabby bowling the ball as well. So he's a massive contributor and a massive reason for India doing well in this game. And if they're going to go forward throughout this tournament, he's going to be their best player and most likely player to get them through.
I know the Indian team were really gutted yesterday to be turned over by Scotland in a super high-scoring game. I know Vahab had a chance with the home run to hit the 12 and win the match, and he got caught on the boundary, but it's a must-win game for these Indian players. And obviously Deepak, the captain there, goes off 4 balls for 18, strike rate of 450 with just the 3 sixes.
It's brilliant, and that's the beauty of this format, is that the way it is, a team like Scotland can turn up yesterday and beat a team like India that you would normally say in an 11-on-11 match that would be a mismatch. But in this form of the game and the way the rules are for last man stands, Scotland got over the line.
When you were playing for New Zealand, did you get to play against any of the associate nations?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I was fortunate enough to go to a couple of World Cups. So in those World Cups, we had the associate nations. I know that there's been a big hoo-ha about this next World Cup and the lack of associates in this next World Cup. But I was fortunate enough to play against the likes of Canada, Kenya, Ireland.
See, growing up, you mentioned Kenya there, straight away in my mind, as someone who loves cricket, I'm thinking Steve Tickolo, who's probably about 50 years old now. I still think he'd be in the Kenyan team, but I know a lot of these associate nations take it extremely seriously, and I think it's disappointing because they seem to have got their act together, and just as they do, the ICC have reduced the numbers in the tournament.
Yeah, it's crazy from my point of view. We saw a wonderful qualifier series down in Zimbabwe in February, very, very closely fought, and only 2 teams, I think, ended up going through from that qualifier to this next World Cup, whereas there probably could have been an argument for 6 teams from that because they were all beating each other. So associate cricket is getting stronger and stronger. They're getting more and more funding from the ICC, which will hopefully be better for world cricket going forward and for those associate nations.
Well, just coming back to the action here, Praveen has just bowled a ball that's just gone past the outside edge, and the umpire's called it a wide. He does not look overly charmed here as the umpire just looks down. He's not texting his friends. If you not new to Last Man Stands, he's actually keeping the score as well. Could you imagine any of the umpires that you've come across over the years, some of the famous ones, Billy Boughton, stood there putting the score in at the same time?
It certainly makes their job a lot busier, that's for sure. But again, another subtle nuance to this form of the game is that umpires not only have to keep track of signalling what's happening in the game, but they've also got to keep control of that scorecard.
It's a good shot there. It's just gone out towards cover.
And that's the point of it, I guess, is to limit the amount of people that you actually have to use to create a game of LMS. It's 8 on 8. It's 2 umpires. You don't need the scorer, and you can just get on and get a game done in 2 hours.
Well, in the club format, James, it's even less because the incoming batsman is the square leg umpire.
Okay, there. Well, there you go. I mean, it's great. It's just what it's about is trying to formulate a cricket match as quickly and easily as you can.
And also, as well, the beauty of it, I was listening to Rory Johnson yesterday, who's a Scotland development player. He did extremely well. Oh my God, that's a direct hit, and it's a run out. Extremely happy. Captain Coley has just run in from the deep mid-wicket boundary. He's ecstatic. He knows how important that wicket is, and he also knows that brings him closer to that bonus point.
Absolutely. A wonderful piece of fielding there in India. They've desperately needed these 2 wickets. They've got 2 wickets in 2 overs. It's been a heck of a start from the UAE batsmen, but that'll just put them slightly on the back foot now.
Well, that's the end of Shiraz Khan there. Wicketkeeper batsman Subbu probably was happy with the one, but he was called through by Khan, and Khan has been undone by a brilliant direct hit from Praveen. I think he'll feel a lot better. He took a bit of tap from the captain Nicholas at the start there, but that's the end of Shiraz. And like a fine bottle of wine, if you finish your bottle of Shiraz, you're normally in a bit of trouble, and they certainly are here. The UAE batsmen, they're 2 down.
Very good. I like that. But yeah, it's
been waiting 2 days for that one.
Look, it's wonderful to see this tournament up and running. Players from all over the world, teams, as far away as New Zealand. I'm fortunate enough to be playing with them, obviously, being from New Zealand myself. And LMS New Zealand is getting bigger and better every year. If you're watching from New Zealand, they're open for registration now for next season. There's places all throughout New Zealand that you can go and be part of LMS. So if you're not sure about playing club cricket and committing to club cricket for whole Saturdays, why not start being a part of LMS?
Just coming past the box here is my friend Ali from yesterday, who was extremely happy when he was in the commentary box.
And again, this format looks beautifully suited for places like Pakistan, like India, like UAE, because people work hard throughout their days there, but we all know how much cricket is loved in those countries. So you can get together with your mates after work, go down to the local ground, put a team together, and you can get a game in 2 hours, and then obviously you're not taking up too much time that you need for work and social life.
Well, it's obviously trying to get that balance, and it looks like Wasim Jaffer's got another wicket. it's really refreshing to see how much it means to the captain, Raul Kohli here. He's every wicket, he knows how important the run rate, the bonus points are, as they're getting the most out of Wasim Jaffer. That's gripped a little bit there.
Yeah, well, he would have faced a fair few good spinners in his time, Wasim Jaffer. So even though he probably doesn't bowl a lot in first-class cricket, he would have learnt a lot from facing it, and he's just taken the pace off that ball, flighted it nicely, and gone through the UAE batsman beautifully for a nice, clean, bowled wicket. You just feel as though India are back on top in this game.
Talking about people being able to get a nice balance and what makes this such a fantastic format, actually listening to Ali from Pakistan yesterday, who was explaining that actually the way that it's done in the South Punjab region, it's actually subsidised by businesses. So it actually costs the players almost nothing, and they sponsor these players and sponsor the equipment to give these guys the opportunity to play cricket. And then what they do is they then pick the best players using the LMS rankings, because he was saying in the past it was all word of mouth and who it was and this, that and the other, whereas now it's a hard document, and just seeing here that LMS ranking, this guy is obviously slightly more a bowler than a batsman. He's ranked at 16,000 in the batting.
And that's another great part of it, is that you can really see clearly where you fit in the rankings within your league, within your nation, and then obviously globally as well. So from an individual point of view, it's a wonderful aspect of LMS. And I think the other thing about it is you can still play club cricket and play LMS. The LMS is not here to challenge the traditional game, it's here to complement it. And why wouldn't you want to be part of this if you can't give your time up on Saturdays to play club cricket in the traditional sense? You can still play this during the week.
Just to jump in there, I totally agree with you. I do think LMS is there to supplement the club cricket. I know that here at Chester we play in a Premier League, so obviously we have to train relatively hard as well to stay to that standard, with some excellent first-class professionals coming in week out to test us. But we've spoke about maybe using one of our practice sessions a week to maybe run a league or hold a league next season, just to give guys match practice. At the moment we've been doing a lot of chasing on a Saturday, which numbers 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 aren't getting an awful lot of batting.
So then again, you're right, if you're playing club cricket on a Saturday, it's very hard to get all your team to trainings on the week. So if you know you can get 8 guys to a training, then instead of training, why don't you just play a game of LMS, and it's all the same skills that are required.
I think the thing is as well is it's just taking that kind of cardio element to it as well. In the field here in LMS, you cannot be hidden. I think you saw that in your first game yesterday. You were trying to manoeuvre the fielders around, whether you were manoeuvring yourself around the field as well. It's just nowhere to hide, and as the batsmen change, the ball goes into different positions as well. Just a lovely moment here, seeing Abdul Razak speaking to Wasim Jaffer on this far boundary here. It's been an absolute feast of cricket, and fantastic for players, and it's been fantastic for me, James, to get to speak with yourself and a number of ex-legends of the game. And have many of the players been able? Have they come and spoke to you and kind of picked your brains on certain things, or? And there is another wicket. That's Subbu, the keeper, and Dwidge with the bowling there. So he's come in. It looks like it's just stopped a little bit on Subbu, but he pulled out the shot. He doesn't look very charmed with himself.
Yeah, it looks like he just got done on the surface. Just threw a shot a little bit too early and just presents an easy caught and bowled.
Apologies, I think that's Navaz. Obviously from the distance away we are at the moment, it's tough to see some of the numbers on the shirts here, as we've just got a little bit of a problem with the graphics at the moment. So, but that's Navaz on his way there, and
so this shows you how quickly last man standing games turn. UAE dominated the first over and a half, but the last couple of overs it's all been India and UAE now being 4 down for 30, 210 looks a long way off.
It does look a real long way off. As of just checking on Twitter there, and you can, if you're not on Facebook, you can follow on Twitter as well the live game. Last Man Stands on Twitter. I was extremely lucky. I think you were yesterday. There was a special guest last night at the ground. Nobel Prize winner.
Yeah, there was a young lady by the name of Malala. She was a joint recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize back in 2014. She had a rather horrific story to tell, but she's now residing in the UK. She's attending Oxford University, and it's just inspiring to meet people like her. It's not every day of the week that you get to meet someone who's won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, as Abdul Razak comes past here, it was fantastic to be able to meet her. It was quite a surreal experience. It was actually what was really lovely as well, and probably shows what a humble person she is. She actually came over and said how much she's been enjoying watching this on on Facebook Live and following the Pakistan side. And as the ball goes crashing into the UAE batsman there. But no, it's fantastic to see someone of that calibre and down here at the Chester Boughton Old Cricket Club. And I know the Pakistan team felt thoroughly blessed that she made the effort to come down and had a photo taken with all the players as well. As the ball goes high into the air, just takes a little spin there. Rahul Kohli got caught out there, and the ball's gone through. It looks like we could get an overthrow as well. Or there could be a run out here. There's absolute chaos. Which end are they going? They've got to go to the keeper's end here, Twidge. Right, I don't think I've ever seen that before. I think there was an opportunity of 4 run-outs in one play there. But they all got back safely. And I think there was 1, maybe 2 runs.
Extraordinary, just seeing the ball, pinball, basically, all over the cricket field just then.
So obviously, speaking about that special guest last night. Oh, what a catch that is! That is an amazing catch diving for. We had a brilliant view of that, James. He looked like he just fumbled it and managed to regather there. Your thoughts?
Well, without the beauty of a replay for the umpires to check, you have to take the fielder's word for it. It looked as though he just did fumble it, but it obviously didn't hit the ground in his opinion, and the batsman has to take his word for it. Here we go, it just spills out of his hands. He somehow cradles it there. I wouldn't mind a closer look at that, but you have to take his word for it.
To the naked eye, and as someone who does use the juggle and roll technique sometimes myself, that looked like a very decent catch. But he's straight away signalled to the umpire that he's taken that. And the man in front of me, he's absolutely adamant it was out there.
Of course they are. Of course they are. They want to win the game.
That's my man Dwidge there. He's had an excellent tournament so far, but he's backing his teammates up there, saying that that's gone in nice and clean. And the UAE are really struggling here. They're 35 for 5. They're trying to put the foot on the throat here. Wasim Jaffer's 2.5 overs in, 3 for 8. Now I know he took 2 international wickets and 2 first-class wickets, so potentially he could double his career haul here.
I think he's shown that possibly spin is definitely the way forward for the rest of this day, and if not the rest of this tournament, because these pitches are certainly lacking water. They're going to get more and more used throughout the week, so I think the spinners are really the ones from a bowling point of view that are going to be the most decisive bowlers on these pitches.
I know you mentioned yesterday in jest that you may trundle a few spinners out, and
I'll definitely be probably bowling at least an over of it today after my showing yesterday, getting tapped for plenty of runs, just bowling little slow left arm mediums. Abdul Razak took a liking to a few of my deliveries, managing to hit a couple of them into the houses, so I might turn to a bit of spin today.
It was a cruel entrance into LMS cricket for your bowling, James, because there was a couple of Chinese cuts and a couple that flew off the edge as well, so I'm sure hopefully the luck will be with you today.
Yeah, look, that's just part of it. It's a learning curve for me. You know, I've never played this format of the game before, and I kept looking for my extra fielders and kept forgetting that you've only got 6 of them. So that's just the beauty of this game, and thoroughly enjoyed the game yesterday with the LMS New Zealand guys. We copped a bit of a hiding from Pakistan, but we're hoping that we can get a win on the board later on today against England.
Just talking briefly about that game, New Zealand came into that game obviously on the back of a win over the UAE on pitch 2, a high scoring game. Nigel Collins scoring a fabulous 90 off 29 balls, and yeah, it was a pretty one-sided win yesterday for Pakistan. Do you think Pakistan were extremely strong, or do you think that your boys maybe just played a fraction under par?
Yeah, I think we did a reasonable job in the field to hold them to about 190, I think it was. Our lads were certainly happy with that, walking off at half-time before we started batting, but left-arm spinner from Pakistan opening the bowling just ripped through us within the first sort of 5-6 overs, and we never really got ourselves back in the game.
As another wicket falls, that's Dwidge, and that looks like his second. He's ran through a mere there. The Indians just seem for the first time just to be relaxing fractionally here. They were very pumped early on. Oh wow, that's I think that could have been LBW unbowled. I think that's just clipped the back pad there on the way through.
Yeah, again, spin bowling doing the trick, just getting the ball above the eye line, dips, spins a little bit.
And that takes us to 40 for 6.
It's your mate again, Dawaja.
Yeah, I tried to pronounce his full name and I went with Dwidge, and he likes it. So for me, having quite limited English, I'm gonna stick with that. As Wasim Jaffer just wanders back towards us after 50 off 18 balls today and 3 wickets. Wasim, have you got many 3-wicket hauls before? Yeah, I've already said on commentary, Wasim, that you've got 2 test wickets and 2 first-class wickets as well. You always find that top-level batsmen always seem to know more about the bowling. I'm pretty sure he won't know to the run how many thousands of runs he scored. We know he scored like 18,000 first-class runs, but he knows exactly how many test wickets he's got.
I got a old teammate of mine back in New Zealand, a guy by the name of Richard Jones. He actually might play a little bit of LMS in Auckland in New Zealand, and he played a few tests for New Zealand back in the mid-2000s. He only ever bowled 1 over in first-class cricket. He got 1 wicket and no runs, and that was enough for him.
So I'm sure he's made it clear that statistically he's probably the greatest bowler ever in first-class cricket in New Zealand.
100%.
It's interesting here. India, it's absolutely going foot to the floor here. They've given Jaffa the chance to go for his 4th and 5th wicket here. And the UAE are obviously looking to, well, it's probably more than a rebuilding job now. They require 13 and over, and they've only got 2 wickets to do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's any point really blocking the ball. You might as well just get on with it or get the game done.
As again, now that was a very, very sharp spin now. I know a few of these UAE boys found it slightly more difficult. They play on synthetic pitches back home, and you normally see a little bit more pace and bounce. You can hit through the ball, whereas obviously on these turf wickets, the bounce probably isn't as high, and there's obviously a bit more wear and tear.
Yeah, I mean, the wickets here, you know, because they're getting a volume of cricket on them every single day, there's not real any chance for the groundsmen to properly prepare each pitch every day, so they're getting worn, they're getting slow, they're turning more, and that's why we said earlier that spin bowlers, even if you haven't bowled a lot of spin, if you can just sort of roughly get it in the right area, you're going to be a real challenge for the batsman.
Well, we had the groundsman on about an hour ago, and he's explained to us that this is got one more day's cricket on, and then it's getting put to bed, which is a term for that'll be it for the end of the season. That one won't be getting used again in this season. It's done and dusted. The first team maybe get a little net on it later in the week, and I'm sure the batters will be begging for us to go back in the nets, because that'll be really hard work. And then we're going to be moving across onto the pitch to the left here. It's been extremely dry, and there's a rest day in this LMS World Cup tomorrow, so he's going to drown the wicket in water, hope for a continuation of these good bits of weather, and you never know, if it's kept under the covers, you could come back to a very seams-friendly pitch on Thursday.
What league does Chester Boughton Hall Cricket Club play in?
We play in the Cheshire County Premier League here, up in the north of England. There's about 20 Premier Leagues. I don't know how much club cricket you've got to play in the UK.
I played a little bit. I played a couple of months, it would be 14 years ago now, up in the Lancashire League for a club called Rishton. I only played a couple of months because I ended up being called into a touring New Zealand team at the time, but thoroughly enjoyed my experience up in North Lancashire for a couple of months.
It's a very, very competitive area to play, and you get some excellent crowds on there as well.
Yeah, very different to club cricket back in New Zealand, that's for sure. Getting a taste of it in England, and particularly up in that part of England. As you say, crowds, expectation on the overseas pro to really produce every game, and certainly when you didn't, you sort of walked into the clubhouse and felt daggers being thrown into your back for why didn't you score 100 or take 5 wicket back.
I know that there's some talk, and I've heard these stories many a time, because obviously they've had some fantastic overseas players playing Lancashire, that if you get a 50 or a 5 wicket haul as a professional, they pass the hat around the ground and allow some of the members maybe to throw a couple of pound in for a pint at the end of the game.
Yeah, they call it the collection, and again, never come across that before. So generally the rule of thumb from what I learned in my short time there was, as a pro, if you got to 50, there was a collection that went round, and then you just try and whack it and make hay, get to 100, they do another one, and then generally you put all your collection behind the bar for the team at the end of the day.
I was going to say, I'm not sure some of the local players would be very happy if you just wandered off into town with that.
That would be very uncool, but a great experience. So it's only been the one experience for me in league cricket in England, but obviously there's a lot of league clubs all over this country, and here in Cheshire, how far would you travel? What would be your furthest fixture for your club here?
We're probably looking at maybe an hour and 15 minutes, which actually isn't, in travelling terms, isn't that far. If you were to step up and play maybe minor counties cricket, which is the level below you boys in first class, then you could be probably travelling as far, if not further. Like I know that Cheshire at the moment, with quite a few of the Chester Boughton Hall lads, Rick Moore and Harry Caloran, are currently playing down in Cornwall. So they'll be about 7 hours away. So they're going to play. They're in the back end of a 3-day game at the moment.
So do you go into North Wales and play games across there?
No, they've actually got their own Premier League in North Wales. So we work down onto the Wirral Peninsula. We're probably at the end of the county here on the west, and then we go all the way across into some of the Manchester clubs as well. So out towards Urmston, which is almost near Boughton, Hyde, which is up in the hills there. It's a fantastic little ground, Hyde. You'd love to play there as a batsman. It's a very, very good wicket there, and you get plenty of value for your runs. And then obviously there's tons of clubs in what we call mid Cheshire. So you've got your Alton Parks, your Alvanleys, your Nantwich is out towards Staffordshire. So there's some fantastic places to play, and we're extremely lucky in Cheshire because the standard of grounds is extremely high.
Overseas players, do you have one allocated to most clubs here?
Well, the changing of the visa rules has actually really caused a massive problem for us. The two leagues next to us, the North Wales Premier League and the Liverpool competition, they allow clubs to have a professional overseas if they want one. So, for instance, say you had a weekend off for Middlesex and you had nothing better to do, or you wanted to earn a couple of extra quid, then you could go and play in the Liverpool competition as the overseas professional. Here we've always, you can have staff players from professional outfits, but you must have an overseas player that hasn't played first class now, and that's something that's up for debate, because I think a lot of the clubs would like the opportunity to get as good an overseas player as possible. But that's something that, with the visa rules at the moment, you know, we've gone from having every team in our Premier League having a really good overseas player to all of a sudden it's probably 2 or 3.
So you're in the best seat for scouting through this tournament for your club here to try and get an overseas player for once this competition's done for the rest of the season.
Well, I was trying to talk LMS organiser, founder Wayne Grieve into putting an all-stars team together for us to maybe get a game against them later in the week. There's a couple of guys that have really took my eye, and they've been mentioned. Manpreet Singh from Singapore has scored back-to-back 50s. He won the game against South Africa yesterday. He was absolutely fantastic. Got player of the day, I think. Jake O'Connell, I don't know if you've seen him, the Australian 17-year-old quick bowler from Queensland. He's ranked 1 in Australia after the national championships in LMS. Very, very exciting. He knocked over Neston's captain, David Hurst, played for Wales yesterday. He's a fine player, played a lot of minor counties cricket. He got knocked over, poles everywhere. And I saw on social media that some of his friends locally have had a little bit of fun with that, you know, freeze framing his stumps all over the place. But, you know, some of the Pakistan lads as well, you know, had a really good chat on the comms with Ali, and, you know, Shabazz Khan with the new ball looked fantastic. Bhatti, the spinner, opening batsman, looked fantastic as well. So, you know, there are guys, the South Africans have got a couple of guys who are pushing first class cricket.
Sounds as though you've got a few conversations to have then.
Yeah, well, I've put a few feelers out. Obviously, the chill weather and the ground, it makes my a lot easier. You know, it's a lovely place to live and play, but we've got to kick on with the end of our season, and then that's my job to sort it out. Come the end of the year, work with Will Owen, the captain, ex-Glamorgan. I don't know if you came across Will, and he's going to have to try and find potentially an overseas player. I think we'll be looking for a seamer, looking at our attack. But I'm not sure many seamers will want to come and play on this week in and week out.
Not after watching this.
Well, this is Bose, who was in the commentary box with us yesterday. He was telling me how much he loves cricket over in the UAE, and they're actually looking for someone to take on the franchise manager, to take on the league over there. There's a lot of very, very good teams, but there's definitely a role for that to grow and expand. So over in the UAE, and that's hopefully what this tournament will do. It'll just give a real sense of understanding to some of the guys over there, and hopefully more people can get involved. Tell you what, Raul Kohli's giving it plenty of flight there, and Bose's obliged. He said, Wayne Grieve said yesterday that this guy's a big hitter, and Kohli's just put this into the breeze, and that's all hand-eye for me, that.
Great shot. Very much needed. They've sort of been dawdling a little bit the last few overs, but they desperately need a couple of sixes, if not about 10 or 12 of them.
Well, it's for the bonus points they need 162, so obviously it's a little bit far back. He's still looking at, you know, 10, 11 and over, but Bose's come in and he's 22 off 16. Piyush is 8 off 15. He's obviously dropped anchor here, and he's going to try and look to anchor the rest of the innings, see if we can make this last the full 20 overs.
Yeah, it's not exactly what we want to see. We want to see action. We want to see sixes and fours or wickets. So I don't think people that sign up to LMS, either playing it or watching it, want to see dot balls and ones being scored. So hopefully things will start to change now after that six we've just seen.
Well, I think I'm going to have to leave you here because I'm going to go and have my first game of the tournament, James. I'm going to go over and play in the England Masters team. which probably says something about my cricket now that I've reached the point that I'm deemed a veteran. So I'm going to nip off over there onto pitch 2. I'm going to bring in Bjorn to have a chat with you, but enjoyed having a little nose about local cricket there, and hopefully the UAE can make a fist of this bonus point charge.
Good luck, Lee. Now it's time for you to walk the talk.
Hope I've got more fielders than you had yesterday, James.
Well, it's a very different day today to what it was yesterday when I turned up here. Boiling hot. Now we've got, dare I say it, typical Northern English weather. A bit grey, a bit cold and a bit grim.
Afternoon, James. The weather certainly is a bit gloomy, and there's a appeal for catch caught behind there, and he's given it.
Yeah, it's the first wicket I've seen to a seamer since I've been doing comms for the last half an hour or so. Just a little tickle there. That formed a nice little partnership. Just felt as though they're starting to get a little bit of momentum. They've still got a lot of work to do. They're pretty much out of the game, but you'd hope that they were going to start raining sixes, but the seamer Pravin has come on and got that little tickle behind to the keeper. 6th wicket. 7th wicket now for UAE.
6 wickets down. It must be 7. It's the last man standing.
And this is it. Last man stands.
Last man stands. A lot of work on the batsman's shoulders here to do. Well behind the run rate. Good win this will be for India, bring them back into contention with an outside chance of qualifying for the knockouts.
How many wins would you have to get as a team through a week, do you think, to qualify for, do you have semi-finals and final?
So the way it works is the top team will get a bye through to the semi-finals, and then 2nd and 3rd will go to a quarter-final match against the 3rd and 2nd of the other pool, Pool B. So India's in 5th place at the moment. A good win here will take them into contention 3rd and 4th, but they're still well behind New Zealand, your team, who are on 10 points, and LMS England on 20, and Pakistan and Boughton on 20 as well. That'll change this afternoon as Pakistan play England. Now Pakistan play Scotland, correction. So England play New Zealand, your side.
Yeah, I think we've got the last fixture of the day out here, kicking off around about 6 o'clock tonight, local time. Should be a cracker. LMS New Zealand, we need to get a win to get ourselves back in the comp as well.
A bit unlucky yesterday in New Zealand, I felt. Just didn't go their way. I've seen them play, and they definitely played not their best game. So I think they'll be looking to bounce back against England. England also a very strong outfit, so won't be easy, but I expect a much better game from New Zealand today.
Yeah, they didn't get much from their import yesterday, their debutant. Definitely an interesting format of the game to come in and play. My first game yesterday, got whacked to all parts by Abdul Razak, and then got undone by a left-arm spinner from Pakistan, not for the first time in my career. So hopefully I could make amends for the boys today and at least contribute in some way.
I'm sure you will. I think never easy coming into bowl at Abdul Razak, who's just been on fire this tournament. And he certainly didn't show much respect.
He doesn't move like he used to in the field. He obviously doesn't bowl much either, but he can still hit a massive ball, and that's what he was world renowned for back 10, 15 years ago, for absolutely destroying bowling lineups in one day in T20 cricket.
I think this afternoon, Nick Compton's going to be a different challenge for you. I don't think you have to worry about too many sixes off Nick, but certainly he's also been a good touch.
Yeah, Nick and I obviously teammates here in England for a few years at Middlesex.
So you know all his weaknesses, I take it.
Well, he knows all of mine. That's why I think maybe I should just turn up and bowl some spin against him.
That is weakness. Spin.
No, but it's probably something he hasn't faced from me before. So, and just judging by this pitch as well, it just seems as though spin is the way forward.
I think, yeah, off cutters, and I mean, it's the other one's keeping low. It's definitely ripping and turning here. He should be getting a bit of swing in these conditions early on. New ball.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, the new ball does swing a little bit, but it's only new for a couple of overs. So my theory would be to get the ball as old as you can, as quick as you can, and then bowl 16, 17 overs of spin and force the batsman to have to hit the ball, because we are seeing bounce, we are seeing spin, and it looks tricky to really force the ball for sixes and fours.
It's a great shot there.
Even that ball is a case in point. It was a pretty average delivery, but it just held in the surface. It gripped a little bit, and all they could do was get 2 runs.
Didn't quite time that shot. Should have been dispatched for 4 there.
So I think moving forward through the week, it'll be interesting just to see tactically how teams go about it.
I think you want a good spinner in your side, as it's going to just tear up a bit more the pitch. That's a great delivery. Big appeal for LBW. Umpire unmoved. Last man stands on his own, so he decides not to run there. Wasim Jaffer tying up behind the keeper.
So here, when he's last man stands, can he run singles, or does he have to get to the non-strikers and back again?
He can't run singles, so he's got to do 2 or smash a boundary. Oh. Work that one fine. Is he going to get a boundary? It's just gone over the ropes. Good shot that. So yeah, he's got to hit 4s or 6s, or if he's feeling energetic, run 2s. But he can't take a single to the bowler's end, otherwise he'll be run out at the keeper's end.
Well, there's plenty of gaps because there's only 6 fielders, so...
It's you say that, but when you're out there on your own, you manage to always find them. Or myself anyway. See, PJ doesn't look like he's going to take too many singles. He'll be quite happy just to hit the gaps. It's going to be another boundary. He's been practicing that shot all week in the nets. He's got it down to perfection.
Yeah, he's not really looking down the ground at this stage. He's looking to work the ball more behind square. He just squeezed it out. It was a good delivery. He got a little bit lucky, but he's going to certainly need quite a bit of luck if UAE are going to get anywhere near close here now.
Giving it plenty of air there, tempting him, teasing him.
What's he doing? Why is he blocking balls?
He's looking a bit tired there. He's having a look around, assessing the situation.
He's got to hit 6s, surely.
UAE 90 for 7 now. 5 overs to go. Have a go, boy. No. He's probably a bit upset with the rest of his teammates, and he's not going to give his wicket away cheaply here.
Is this having a net? Or does this help towards his own personal statistics and LMS rankings?
He's got to consider the strike rate there. That's not going to be going too well. I think he possibly is looking for the bonus point loss. So if they get within 20% shy of 209, 160, then they get the bonus point. So either way, he's actually got to...
He's got to get going.
He's got to get going. Let's have a look here. Fancies that one. He's going for it. He's running. Could be a run out here. Keeper fumbles it. He's exhausted after that. He's going to have a little break.
Well, he made that 2 looked very long indeed. It looked as though he was running uphill and into an 100-mile-per-hour wind. And as soon as he completed that too, he's straight down on his backside, trying to pretend that he's got laces and pads to re-strap just to suck in the big ones.
Difficult conditions out here for the UAE chaps. Not used to this this cold weather. Umpire having a word, telling him to get on with it. Got 2 more games to get through. Quite rightly so.
What time does the next fixture sort of have to get underway by? Probably 4 o'clock?
Ideally we want to start at 4, no later than 4 o'clock, so we are running a little bit behind schedule. I think the umpires have also spoken to the Indian side, telling them that they do have 3 minutes to bowl each over, which works out nicely to 1 hour. And the inning started at 3 o'clock, so they know they got to get through it here as well.
So did I was about to walk across the field.
3 runs for the bat there. He's going to do this in wides. It's good strike rates increased here. It's 7 for him off the over.
It's really hard to work out what his tactic is here.
I think he's lucky to be getting a ball here. The Indians trying something new, and I don't think he'll get much bowling in a tight game, but I think they feel they've won this match and they're going to give him a run. Doesn't seem to find his line there. Really poor over from Anchkit. Umpire having none of that appeal there.
Just want to see this Pierce have a go.
Could be now. He's definitely not keen on hitting it down the ground. So I don't know how he's got the patience to not have a go. It's incredibly patient here from him. 99 out of 100 batsmen would have been having a crack at the cameraman above the sight screen here. These loopy deliveries. It's Rahul Kohli bowling, cousin of Virat. Apparently he's the more talented of the two.
I'd suggest that's up for debate.
Very short one. What's not up for debate is his passion. I think he's incredibly passionate about his cricket, and come all the way out from Gurgaon, New Delhi in India. He's always keen to win with the bonus point.
What's Pierce asking for here? A drink, maybe? Tough work getting 44 off 44 balls in last man stands.
I think he's at the post-team meeting. Deepak Nicholas is going to have a word about him, about his strike rate here and blocking the half volleys.
He's only got himself to blame. He could have been trying to whack sixes instead of doing all this running, or at least trying to hit a six, be out, and this game be over. He's not bringing back the crowds to LMS the way he's playing at the moment.
Certainly, it's been a quiet period in the commentary box here, and I'm sure the crowd's gone in to grab a quick beer and waiting for the next game to start. as he fixes his gloves. See Scotland warming up and having a team chat there, taking it very seriously. And Pakistan boys doing some stretches. He's left another one. In no hurry to chase down the total. Score's now 105 for 7 after 18 overs, chasing 209. Piyush on 44 after 45 deliveries. Looking solid there.
So how long have you been involved with LMS, right from inception?
So Wayne Grieve and myself started Last Man Stands back in 2005 together. We hosted a triangular 11-a-side T20 in 2004, and one of the players piped up and said, "This is brilliant, we should do it every weekend," and we kind of rolled with it from there. And obviously T20 for amateurs, the 11-a-side, doesn't always work out when you the number 11 batsman and the skipper doesn't bowl you. Not much fun. So we looked at the rules and tried to make it as actively as possible for each player to participate in the match. And 8-a-side just really lends itself to that with T20.
You get some stiff challenges along the early years from local clubs and boards of local associations?
Yes and no. I mean, we still get frowned upon, but obviously, everyone does love Test match cricket and the longer formats of the game, which hopefully will be around forever. And we really were in the beginning a niche market in London. Just a lot of city folk don't have time to give up a whole Saturday or Sunday to play cricket, and with the beautiful summers in London, the sun going down at 9:30, 10 o'clock. Guys would just come up after work and play 2 hours. So we weren't really taking anyone away from club cricket, and we're catering for guys that weren't really playing cricket, bringing them back to the game. We had a lot of South Africans that we knew, all working in banks. And in our first year, we had 28 teams with doing some very shoddy marketing, handing out flyers at the tube stations. We got chased out of Canary Wharf. We weren't allowed to hand out flyers there apparently. And we had our pads on and gave it a full crack, but there was just a real need for it, for that shorter game for a lot of people that just didn't work, time poor.
I think it's fantastic. I mean, this is the first time I've seen it in action. But I was saying to Lee earlier on commentary, I don't see it really conflicting with traditional club cricket. I see it as a way of complementing it. And, if you still play club cricket on a Saturday, you can still play LMS during the week, and vice versa. If you don't want to give up or can't give up your time, as you say, time poor, you've still got the opportunity to be part of cricket through the week by playing LMS, which I think is wonderful.
100%. And in South Africa, a lot of the guys, they only play in winter, because it's so silly actually that you traditionally stop playing cricket in winter in the Southern Hemisphere where we are, because it's actually the best time to play cricket, and that's the end of the game there. But the guys play in the winter season just to keep a nick, and see, most of the South African side will play club cricket on the Saturday and then have a midweek game of LMS, and it works really well. So I think there's room for both.
Yeah, well, obviously during the week they can play it instead of doing training, which makes it a lot more fun, doesn't it? Because they can play a game of cricket for training, because all the skills are obviously exactly the same as traditional cricket, and you play your club game on a Saturday.
And with LMS, actually, I mean, if you're not a big hitter of the ball, you actually get more value for your shots hitting it on the ground. It's less risky. There are gaps, as you say. So it's not one of those games where you have to be a big hitter. I'm not a big hitter myself, and you can still enjoy the game and score a 50. If you are a big hitter like Razak, it still pays dividends, but there's something in it for everyone which I like about it. I think Nick Compton's getting ready for the post-match interview with Wasim Jaffa there. I think the man of the match easily. Indians very lucky to have someone of his caliber in the team. He just looks amazing to watch. Surprised he didn't play more games for India. Real talent. The English boys walking past us now. I think they're shaking in their boots as they walk past James Franklin.
Not on yesterday's performance, they're not. But a resounding win here for India. They obviously needed it. They needed a bonus point win to get themselves back into this competition. On the back of, as you just said, Wasim Jaffer, brilliant again today, getting runs and wickets. And so that's really moved them back into consideration, I guess, for the back end of this tournament with a rest day tomorrow. Thursday and Friday's games are going to be massively important in terms of how the groups finish. So a resounding win for India over the UAE.
Good win for them, and they'll need to take this momentum forward. They've got an outside chance of qualifying now, and they'll be pumped for it. And I think they're going to be getting all the rounds in later for Wasim, because he's certainly carried them on his back his last couple games. I think we're going to cross over shortly to the post-match interview. They're just doing a few photos.
Getting to the end of the day now, day 3, and already some fantastic games have been on show, but this one was comprehensively won by India, who seem to be getting stronger and stronger as the competition goes on, largely due to my friend on the right here, Wasim Jaffer, the great Indian player, smashed 50 off 18 balls. That must have felt good, Waz.
Yeah, it did. It did. We needed a good start. We needed to put a decent score to get the bonus points. So happy that we've got the bonus and still keeps us in contention.
And how was the conditions out there?
Really good. I think it was a different pitch. The ball was coming on all right. Yeah. So the other batsman also chipped in, which was good. Decent score.
Seem to be getting stronger in this competition. Where do you think the strength lies in your team?
I think we batted really well. I think we still should have got 230, but managed to get 208. But I thought overall we did a really good job.
Okay, mate. We'll keep up the good form, eh? Well played. Nicholas, a bit of a big loss there. Yeah. Still need to do quite a lot in this competition to get back in.
Yeah, we do. We're a bunch of cricketers. Sporting spirit should continue. But yeah, an really off day today. But we started the chase well. I think we lost the track midway.
Okay, and how about the bowling effort? They seem to get up with the rate quite quickly. Is there anything you can do going into the next game to halt some of the batting?
No, we got to get our fieldings right. A lot of misfields around, so we should practice on our fielding. But I think the Indian team played very well with Wasim Bhai. We all have seen him as our icon, so playing against him is a proud moment as well. So all the best, Wasim Bhai.
I'm enjoying some of your bowling. You've got the off spin, a bit of a doozer, a bit of leg spin there, everything.
I mix up everything. So whatever I've seen in cricket, I just try everything. So it's fun.
Oh, mate, you guys are bringing a great spirit to this game, so well done. And look forward to the next game now. We've got Scotland, who really do need a good performance. So watch them, and then we've got England versus New Zealand, the big game at 6 o'clock.